Hey there guys, you know me as Blake the Nerd, otherwise known as the guy who did the Project DIVA Nuzlocke, which this video is actually about. More specifically, the rules to the Project DIVA Nuzlocke. If you've seen the video about the Project DIVA Nuzlocke, you kind of know the screen where there were rules. I looked at it since, and I kind of didn't like how the rules were presented. I say kind of. The rules I wanted were there, but I kind of felt like it wasn't really polished that well, it wasn't really well understood. So I want to make this video to make the rules a bit more clearer and understandable, so I made a bit of tweaks in terms of the rules. It's still, for the most part, generally the same. However, there's going to be some slight differences in some of the rules. At least when you compare it to the Project DIVA Nuzlocke video, which if you haven't seen it, you might be confused. I would recommend you check it out in the top right corner. Otherwise, it'll be the first link in the description below. If you want to check it out, please do so that way you're not really confused as to what I'm talking about. So there are basically three rules, depending on what game you play, that essentially make the Project DIVA Nuzlocke what it is. The first rule, very simple, and actually involves the health bar at the top, which a lot of players usually ignore anyways, since that stuff usually doesn't matter for some people. But if the life health bar reaches 0, then that Vocaloid that's on the screen is considered dead and cannot be used for the rest of the run. So here's an example of this. Let's say you play a 9-star extreme song. Let's say Romeo and Cinderella, for example, and you make it to the end, and your overall clear percentage is 50%. Normally, that counts as a fail if you're not playing in a Nuzlocke style. But because you may have health left if you make it to the end of the song, that Vocaloid is still good. It only counts as a death if that health bar at the top again reaches 0. Of course, you can also make it hardcore, where you have to pass the song entirely, otherwise if you don't pass it, that Vocaloid is considered dead for the run. But generally speaking, it's just focusing on the health bar at the top. As long as that doesn't reach 0, the Vocaloid is fine. If it does, then that Vocaloid's dead. Second rule, you must play songs at a difficulty higher than your standard play. So for example, if you play easy, you have to go normal go to hard to extreme, extreme to extra extreme, and if you play extra extreme, I guess just close your eyes or something like that. You know, kind of make it your own challenge. Obviously, this rule is implied to make it a bit more challenging than your normal gameplay, which, sure, you can go through and play the Nuzlocke with your normal play rules, but you'd be passing it easily, and this is just a way to make sure it's a bit of challenge for you. Now, I never mentioned a goal in the Project DIVA Nuzlocke video itself, but your goal is to basically try to clear all the songs that you can in the Project DIVA game if you're choosing. And that goal actually ties in with the third rule a little bit easier, which all songs have to be played until they are cleared, and if you cleared a song once, you cannot play that again. And if you're randomizing the songs and it lands on a song you already played, you have to re-roll until it lands on a song you have not played. So the last rule I have only applies to Future Tone, Megamix, and Megamix Plus, and that songs with 3D PVs are allowed because you can actually customize the Vocaloids in those, and it's not a 2D PV, which those are not allowed because you can't do that. Again, in random, if it lands on 2D PVs, you will have to re-roll until it lands on a song that is in 3D, but also is a song that you haven't already played. And those are essentially the 4 rules of the Project DIVA Nuzlocke. Simple, to the point, but also very flexible at the same time. And I like to keep these rules simple and flexible because I want people to have fun with the Nuzlocke their own way. You can have it to where you can only have one Vocaloid throughout the entire thing until that Vocaloid dies, and then you replace it with another one, or you can switch in between songs. Heck, I've seen a streamer do something crazy where if you don't actually pass the whole song percentage-wise, that Vocaloid is dead. That's a cool way in their own way of doing a Project DIVA Nuzlocke. The 4 rules are just a foundation. It's up to you whether you want to use that foundation or grow upon it yourself. And those are the rules. Hopefully they were clear enough for anyone to understand. I encourage you to do a Project DIVA Nuzlocke because it's actually kind of a fun, different twist to the Project DIVA series. If you need the rules again, whether to review it or to simply copy and paste it and share it across, it'll also be available in the description. Otherwise, you could just rewatch the video at any point. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope the rules are better clear than they were in the Project DIVA Nuzlocke video. And if you do a Project DIVA Nuzlocke, I wish you the best of luck. You got this.